Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Jayden Bryce Show, the show where we talk about the latest, hottest topics in the world of pop culture and sports. I'm your host, Jayden, and today I got an action-packed show for you guys. And I actually already am off the bat screwing up things. This is the show specifically about sports. As I stated in the last podcast, I'm starting a new show for my pop culture fans, Hall of Heroes. I don't know if I'm going to keep the name or not. It's just something I'm, contemplating right now. But I am producing a show for all my pop culture fans. I know I've been leaving y'all out of the limb here for the longest while. So there's a lot of exciting things that's been going on in the pop culture realm that I have not been able to hit on just because football and NFL has taken over my content by storm. So we're going to get that into a separate broadcast. I plan on hitting on that later on tonight after this show. I'm going to talk with a little couple things right after we get done with the show. But today, we got a couple of great football topics. We are going to recap the Monday Night Football game. I meant to do this podcast yesterday. I had a lot going on yesterday, didn't have time to get to it, so we're going to get to it today. I'm going to discuss the Monday Night Football action between the Ravens and the Lions. Then we're going to talk about the main topic of today, Jaxson Dart getting the quarterback one job in place of Russell Wilson. Then we're going to talk about Nick Bosa getting a season-ending ACL injury. And lastly, we're going to end it off with CeeDee Lamb and some Cowboys things, a lot of Cowboys injuries that's piled up as well. And then I might actually get to my picks. I didn't get to go over my score from last week. It was not good. I promise you guys that. There was a lot of games that I predicted, and it just went absolutely south. So, yeah, I don't think the predictions were going to be as good as I might have, first thought. But we might get to that later on at the end of this as well. Plan on it being an hour. No longer than that, so let's get ready and talk about some football. If you guys enjoyed, do not hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's hop right into it. We had an awesome Monday Night Football game featuring the Lions and the Ravens. And as you can see by my thumbnail, the Ravens end up falling to the Detroit Lions. In this game, it was quarterback masterclass. You had Lamar Jackson and Jared Goff going just blow for blow. They were just fantastic. But the biggest takeaway from this game was the defenses. And when I was watching this game, I was sitting here thinking, okay, someone is going to come out on top. I didn't know who that was going to be. And the game for me was measured by this when I was watching. I was saying, okay, this game is going to be measured by who gets the turnover. Who is going to turn the ball over? Because the defenses could not get stops. The Lions defenses could not get stops. Lamar Jackson was throwing the ball everywhere around the field. Lamar Jackson was 21 for 27, 288 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Jared Goff himself, he was 20 for 28, 202 yards, 1 touchdown. The Lions averaged 5.9 yards per rush, and they rushed for 224 yards. So both defenses couldn't do anything. And then Aidan Hutchinson, Big Hutch, the man who was up for a contract extension going into this upcoming season, he's putting in his, he said he's seeing Michael Parsons' contract. Michael Parsons getting $47 million. Somebody's wanting to be the highest paid QB over there in Detroit. So Aidan Hutchinson is putting his stamp on that. He made the big play. Peanut punch. Derrick Henry had the fumble-rooskies so far to go on this season, if I'm not mistaken, 100% sure. They said he fumbled in week 2. I don't remember that. I just know clearly we remember against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football, he fumbled the ball 2 times. And in this game right here, when the thick got thin, he fumbled the ball again. But I wrote my notes pretty much half by half, so let's discuss each half. We got a pretty much broad statement of what went on to the game. Both defenses struggled. The game was really based on what team was going to get that big turnover. The Lions got that big turnover on defense, and they prevailed. From the first half, a lot of things that I was observing. Goff was super efficient on third down. Specifically with Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta seemed to be his guy, his go-to guy on third down, because it was pitch and catch with Sam Laporta. I don't know why Kyle Hamilton was not shadowing Sam Laporta on third down. Laporta got to his route, broke down, got to the sticks, and was getting first downs. And Jared Goff was super comfortable in the pocket. One thing that you cannot let Jared Goff be. You cannot let Jared Goff get comfortable in the pocket, because if you let Jared Goff get comfortable in the pocket, he is going to dice you up for dinner. Okay? Any type of way, food analogy you want to put on there, filet mignon, he's going to cook. He's going to cook you if he gets comfortable. So you got to get pressure on Jared Goff, which is something that the Baltimore Ravens did not do. I don't even know if they recorded a sack here. Let's make sure and go by the defense. Yeah, 0 sacks. Overall pressures they had on Monday. I don't know what this stands for. I don't know if PD. I don't think PD stands for pressures, but they got no sacks on Jared Goff, which is, they were out with Matabuke. They didn't have Kyle Van Noy, but still, with the issues that the Detroit Lions had on their interior O-line, you'd think that the Baltimore Ravens, who is a team who is supposed to be built on toughness, a team who is supposed to be built on grit and defense, you'd think they would be able to at least get a sack with a struggling Lions offense. But the Lions in both halves dominated the line of scrimmage. The Lions O-line dominated the Ravens D-line. Vice versa. The D-line I know the score doesn't show, Baltimore was able to come up with 30 points. But that pass rush from the Lions was absolutely on time. They sacked Lamar Jackson 7 times from the top of my head. And let me make sure that is correct. Yes, they sacked Lamar 7 times. They had 6 tackles for loss. There were plenty of instances where I was like, Lamar, get rid of the ball. And Lamar would get away. And somehow, some way, the Lions' defensive line would come up with a shoestring tackle to tackle Lamar down. They were just phenomenal. They did a great job containing Lamar Jackson. They did a good job covering down the field. And it was just super efficient. Because we know when Lamar Jackson, and this is something that I got to say with Lamar Jackson as well, and it's something I observed in the first half. Lamar Jackson has become super efficient with throwing the football. Like super duper efficient. It's a great thing to see. Just going into the draft. Everybody making him want to be a running back coming out, and then he just silences all the critics. And he had troubles throwing the football early on in his career. He even had troubles throwing the football his very first MVP, and now he's just pretty much done a 360. There was a lot of balls that Lamar Jackson threw, specifically that one in the end zone to Mark Andrews. Absolute beauty. Lamar was just throwing the ball on a dime all night. All night. The only bad thing that happened in the first half for the Baltimore Ravens was you had that in the half sequence. You get the ball down to the 1-yard line, and you could not get the ball into the end zone. You couldn't get 1 yard. They had 2nd, 3rd, and 4th down to get 1 yard. And with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, they was not able to muster up a yard and score a touchdown. That was another big pivotal point in this game as well. That was huge. But yeah, it's just crazy to see how just where Lamar has come from with his passing game and vice versa. So that's pretty much all the things I have here. And, another thing, the Ravens combo. The Lions combo with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. My Lord. It's just, you got to give the Lions credit. We all gave them crap for the Jahmyr Gibbs pick when they had that draft a couple of years ago. And they made the trade, or I don't even know if it was a trade or a signing, for David Montgomery. And they really were the ones to spark this 2 running back committee type thing. They utilized it the best because those 2 fellas right there, you had Sonic and Knuckles, you had the speed and you had the thunder. Those guys are the best running back duo in the league, in my opinion. They are super efficient with it. It should be the blueprint for anybody trying to build an efficient run game because it is so much better for your running backs. The bell cow back is good and all, but it's always nice to have no more than 20 carries. We see Jahmyr Gibbs had 22, David Montgomery had 12. If you had the bell cow back, Jahmyr Gibbs would have had 34 carries. That's a big toll on the kid, and that's the reason why the Ezekiel Elliott's and everybody's run down. The only running back who is still around right now, who is a bell cow, who's still going at it strong, is the man who was featured in this game in Derrick Henry. But man, they are just that running back tandem. It was just, they had like 2 90-yard drives. The Lions did. They were just manhandling them in the run game. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, just giving the ball. It was just great to see. It was an absolute battle. Second half, Lamar, Jared Goff, they come out just absolute throwing dots. The play call on 4th down, it was like 4th and 3 for the Lions to go up 28-21. The play call where they faked the handoff, and it was like when they didn't fake the handoff, they gave the handoff. I think they gave it to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He done the little flea flicker play to Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jahmyr Gibbs hits his head on the goalpost on the side of the end zone. That was a phenomenal play called there by Dan Campbell. I have a big problem with trying to remember coaches' names. But anyways, Dan Campbell, and this is something 4th down, they've made that a staple in Detroit, and 9 times out of 10, they are able to convert it. It's nice to see that Dan Campbell has been able to establish that type of culture in Detroit, and just they're going to go for it on 4th down. If they allow it, they're going to go for it on 4th down. It's just inevitable. 4th and 3, 4th and 2, 4th and 4, it don't matter. They're going to go for it. So that was a cool play call. Let's see. This is pretty much the last part of it, but this is a big focal part of it too. Lamar Jackson took a lot of bad sacks. Lamar Jackson had a great game. Don't get me wrong. But there's plenty of just instances where you're just sitting there like, Lamar, just get rid of the football. You're going to kill your team if you get a sack. Throw it away. Live to fight another day. Lamar Jackson did not want to take that approach at all. Lamar Jackson, he was pressing. He knew his team couldn't get no stop on defense. He felt like he had to score. He felt like he had to make the big play every time. So what happened? Lamar starts pressing. He starts scrambling around, even though he's very good at it. And 9 times out of 10, he's able to get out of, the little funk that he's in back there in the pocket. But he wasn't able to do that against the Lions. The Lions did a great job containing. They had great, what's the word I'm looking for? They had great discipline, tackle discipline, run lane discipline. They did not allow Lamar to get outside. They kept him inside and made him rush inside. And they pretty much pinched him in, and they were able to get them shoestring tackles. So the Detroit Lions defensive line did a phenomenal job. And he just took bad sacks. And when it got in the thick and the thin there at the end of the 4th quarter, Aiden Hutchinson forced that fumble, and it came down to the turnover. And at the end of the day, the Lions defensive line came up clutch, and they ended up dominating that game. I didn't even realize they even had as many sacks as they have had. It was an absolute beautiful and phenomenal thing to see. But that is my biggest takeaways of the game. I thought it was a phenomenal game. I wished we would have had this type of game on Sunday Night Football, which is something we got like a couple of duds the last couple of weeks on Sunday Night Football. We were spoiled with the Ravens versus the Bills on the first week of Sunday Night Football. So NFL, can we finally get we got Cowboys Packers coming up. I don't think that's going to be much of a game itself, but yeah, guys, I enjoyed the Monday Night Football action in this upcoming week. We have 2 Monday Night Football games. I don't understand why we do. I will never understand for the life of me why we keep having 2 Monday Night Football games, but we do. But that's all I can think of. Let's close it off with this. And this thought. The Detroit Lions are for real. I got to eat crow. After the first week, I came on this high horse, and I was pretty much on this thinking like, yep, you know what? The Lions are cooked. Interior offensive line, fully new. The tackles are pretty much with Decker and Penei Sewell. They're the only ones standing. You had the center to retire. But did they show the last couple of weeks, that offensive line has done phenomenal. The defense, they've been making some plays, that defensive line. And, Ali McNeil's going to come back. Rodriguez, they got a couple guys who's going to be coming back off of the injury. They got new cornerbacks, DJ Reed. They got better cornerback help this year than what they did last year, even though Terrion Arnold got to get better. But the Lions, they are for real. They're contenders. I don't know if they're Super Bowl contenders because me personally, I think right now I would have the Eagles the Rams, and maybe the Buccaneers ahead of them. But they can play. If they play their good ball like they did last night and play complementary football, I mean, I want the defense to just be able to force a couple more stops, but they can be big and they can be contenders. Now, for the Ravens, I'm not going to panic because out of the first 3 weeks, you've played 2 Super Bowl contenders. You've played the Lions and the Bills. Okay, you've played the cream of the crop. You got another big one against Patrick Mahomes. Now, if you lose this one with a struggling Chiefs team all around, specifically on offense, Patrick Mahomes, they've been struggling on offense. This is a fine tune-up game for that defense to be able to finally muster up some stops. That defensive coordinator, he's on the hot seat because this is back-to-back seasons where this defense has been pretty putrid, so we got to get it together. And that is pretty much everything I can pretty much think of from like little post-game comments. The Ravens they'll be fine. I think I might pick the Ravens this weekend to win, even though they're playing at Arrowhead. But we'll get to that later on in my picks. But that is my initial thoughts of the game from Monday Night Football. Phenomenal game, and I want to know all of your comments down below. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the spicy topic for today's show. We know all that happened the last couple of days. It would have been yesterday if I would have done the show by Wednesday, but I didn't. I was not shocked about the news of Jaxson Dart taking over for Russell Wilson. In my opinion, I was pretty much expecting it. Because going away from, I had the show Monday and I talked about the Giants and the Chiefs. And I said there was an alarming stat that was Russell Wilson's 9th straight loss. He lost 5 in a row to end off the season in a regular season last year. Got smoked in the playoff game. And then obviously the first 3 games of the season, L. Even though he put on an absolute masterclass against the Dallas Cowboys. Not saying much, of course, as always. But the Giants are in a tricky spot. You have someone in Brian Daboll who is pretty much on the hot seat. If he would have kept Russell Wilson in there and they didn't make the playoffs or was even close to making the playoffs, he was gone. And I felt sorry for Brian Daboll. I feel like he hasn't been able to get a fair shot. And this is the only time where Brian Daboll has actually been able to draft his quarterback that he's wanted. He got the job with Daniel Jones, so he's never had the opportunity to get the quarterback that he's wanted. He's went through Daniel Jones, Tommy DeVito, Tyrod Taylor, if I'm not mistaken. That's all I can think of right now from the top of my head of the quarterbacks that he's had to endure in his time in New York. He's never had that franchise-leading type quarterback, even though we know what Daniel Jones is doing over there in Indianapolis right now. So this may be a Giants organizational type deal. We don't know. But for right now, all we can say is Brian Daboll has not had that, been able to draft the quarterback that he's wanted. And in this year's draft, the Giants drafted Abdul Carter with the 3rd pick. They jumped back into the first round later, and I think they drafted Jaxson Dart at 28. So finally, you get that quarterback, and Brian Daboll and the Giants took a smart approach. Sit Jaxson Dart. You already have Russell Wilson. You had Jameis Winston as well. And it's like, okay, we feel like Russell Wilson is still good. Even I thought Russell Wilson was still good enough to win you a couple of games. Let's sit Jaxson Dart. Let's pull up Patrick Mahomes, which is something I've discussed in the past. Y'all know how I feel about that. I'm like, okay, that's a smart thing to do. That's a smart move. But so far, the season has not went how the Giants have planned. I wrote it in my notes about in the previous show. Russell Wilson in the past 3 games, not counting the past 2 games, not counting the Dallas Cowboys, has mustered up 15 points of offense. He is 16 of 32 targeting Malik Neighbors. He can't score touchdowns. If I'm not mistaken, outside of the Cowboys game, those 15 points, all of them were field goals. He has not scored a touchdown offensively outside of the Dallas Cowboys game. Russell Wilson has been bad. The sequence there at the end where they get the ball, I think they're down 9-22 at that time. You get 4 straight plays. He threw one in the tunnel on 4th down. He threw it in the back of the end zone. Didn't even give a receiver a chance. Russell Wilson has not seen the ball well. He was pretty much throwing the ball up for a prayer. He did that against the Dallas Cowboys. In my heart of hearts, I don't even think Russell Wilson thought that anybody was open. He was just throwing up prayers to Malik Neighbors. And Wan'Dale Robinson is like, oh, I hope they catch it. That's the type of football that Russell Wilson has been playing. And Russell Wilson, and when he left Sean Payton, everybody thought it was a Sean Payton problem. Like, Russell Wilson's still good. Why can't Sean Payton make him better? So he's went from Sean Payton. Sean Payton couldn't do nothing with him. He hasn't played well since he left there. Went to Pittsburgh. Didn't knock your socks off at all with Mike Tomlin. Then he's went to Brian Daboll in New York, and he sucked still. And I know a lot of people weren't expecting Russell Wilson to be Russell Wilson of old back in, Seattle days, 2014. Prime Seattle, went to 2 Super Bowls. Golden Tate at the wide receiver position. I think his name was Jermaine Kearse or something like that as well. Doug Baldwin. You didn't have to be that type of Russell Wilson. You just had to be somewhat just 70, 60% of that type player. And Russell Wilson has been far worse than that. Brian Daboll's job is on the line. 0-3. If you lose another game with Russell Wilson, the season is more than likely over. Now, I'm not a fan of starting Jaxson Dart against arguably the best defense in the league. I was totally against it. When the news happened, I was just, my first thought went, okay, let me check and make sure who the Giants are playing. They're playing arguably the hottest team in the NFL right now in the Los Angeles Chargers, led by Jim Harbaugh, who is somebody I love. But it's a tall order for Jaxson Dart. The week after, next week, they play the Saints. That was like the perfect tune-up game for Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart played well in the preseason. We remember all the highlights going on in the first 3 weeks of the preseason with Jaxson Dart, hitting all these throws, dancing and all this. New York Giants fans going crazy. And I know it boiled down to this. If y'all watched the game on Sunday night against the Chiefs, when Brian Burns got hurt, the Giants fans were literally chanting this while their star player on defense was hurting Brian Burns, who was an elite pass rusher for them. They were chanting, put in Jaxson or bring it, put in Dart, one of the two. They were basically chanting, put in Jaxson Dart, period. We know Brian Daboll the last couple weeks that he's been putting Jaxson Dart here for little plays here and there, but he hasn't I don't even think Jaxson Dart's thrown a pass. It's pretty much been run plays. So I felt like at some point this was going to come. You're at home. Your offense can't do anything. Malik Neighbors at the time didn't even have a touch at that point when Brian Burns got hurt and all the chants were going on. First home game, you have a home game against the Chargers. It's the best time to start for Jaxson Dart. Maybe that's the argument. He gets a home game. You're not on the road your first start. You got the fans and the crowd behind you. It'll be exciting. And it's a smart move for Brian Daboll. It's going to be exciting for the fans, exciting for the front office. This Jaxson Dart, it's time to make your money. You got a tall task. Scatabo, however, I don't even know the correct way to say the guy's name. Everybody's making a big deal about it. Chris Collinsworth and them did on Sunday Night Football on Sunday. Scatabo. He was huge for them on Sunday night. I would imagine they will try to establish a run game with him. Tracy, he has a dislocated shoulder. He'll be out for I think he said 2 to 3 weeks, so he'll be back soon. He's not going to be on IR. And in some way, form, or fashion, you're going to just trying to muster up a connection with Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is an absolute stud. I feel like he has the capability to be a top 5 wide receiver. That's how good Malik Neighbors is. Like, he is. And I'm one of those dummies when it comes to Malik Neighbors. I was like, draft Marvin Harrison over Malik Neighbors, but we have seen what's been going on with Marvin Harrison. Maserati Marv, I'm a Ohio State guy. I do not understand for the life of me what is going on with Marvin Harrison right now. Like, he just can't do anything right. Did y'all guys see the wide open passes that he dropped on Sunday against the 49ers? I mean, if he catches the one ball, he was wide open. He might hit his head on the goalpost. We know how good Marvin Harrison was with that yak. That's what he was famous for in Ohio State. He can hit his head on the goalpost. But for some odd reason, Maserati Marv, he just fell off the face of the earth. For bad to Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is an absolute stud. You see the route running? 9 times out of 10, he's open. I mean, he was absolutely cooking my Dallas Cowboys. Just cooking them. LSU got, LSU, they have argument for being wide receiver university. You had Brian Thomas, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors. 4 of these guys in the last 3 years is just absolutely phenomenal what they got going on there in LSU. But Jaxson Dart's time is now. I think it's the right, I'm a Jaxson Dart guy. If y'all did not know, I was an absolute fan of anyone taking this young kid. I thought Jaxson Dart had a lot of potential. I think he's got a lot of potential to do a lot of great things in this league. I feel like if he could have just sat, and just evaluate everything, do the Patrick Mahomes effect with Alex Smith, be ready to go next year. I thought it was a great idea. But the kid, sadly, is being forced into the fire. I'm going to be tuning into this game. I think it's a 1 o'clock start time. My Dallas Cowboys don't play till that night. I think the Eagles has got the 4 o'clock game because the Eagles has got a good matchup. Because Philly? Who does Philly play? Hold on, fellas. Let me, ladies and gents, let me make sure I'm right here. Who does Philly play? Philly's got a good matchup. Who we got? We got Philly. Yeah, Philly plays Tampa Bay at 1 o'clock. Dang it. The scheduling for the season has been pretty garbage so far. God, it's been bad. So, Philly plays at 1 o'clock. I'm going to find a way to watch this game. Who even plays at 4 o'clock? What's the good 4 o'clock games? Okay, game of the week with Kansas City and Baltimore. That's right. Yeah, that's definitely the superior game. All right, so hey, we're going to be watching, definitely going to be watching, and I want to be tuned into what's going on in Minnesota as well when it comes to Carson Wentz. Is Carson Wentz about to cook the Steelers at Pittsburgh? That'd be fun. But yeah, so I'm Jaxson Dart. I'm going to be watching, and I know the whole world will be watching as well. So what do you guys think? What do you think about Jaxson Dart finally taking over as quarterback 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jesus, for the New York Giants? I want to know all of your comments down below. All right, let's move on to our next topic. I haven't watched the 49ers this year. I have not been high on the 49ers. I've been pretty much crapping on the 49ers. They've been injured already to start. They have the weakest schedule in the NFL. I thought Seattle could be better than them, and I felt like definitely the Rams were going to be better than them. So I have not paid attention to the 49ers at all. Deebo Samuel's not there anymore. You lost Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw. They've had a lot of guys leave. And they've mustered up 3 wins. Week 1, I don't know how they won that game. Brock Purdy just throws up a prayer in the back of the end zone. Tariq Woolen just act like he didn't want to play football and play the ball. So that was 1-0. They got a win last week with Mac Jones against the Saints. And then in this game, they played the Arizona Cardinals and ended up mustering up a win with the game-winning field goal. But in that process, their star player, Nicky Bosa, my man, Bosa Bear, Big Bosa, he tore his ACL. Absolutely just brutal. I think the news broke right now. Everybody's saying it is his same ACL on the same leg that he broke back in 21 when he got drafted, or 2020. Cannot quite remember. I want to say it was 20. Let's see. I think this was Bosa's 6th year. Let's see. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, I think he was drafted in 20. So, yeah, he got drafted, tore his ACL his rookie year. No, he tore his ACL his 2nd year. He didn't tear it his rookie year. So he tore it in 21. He's made a Pro Bowl every year since he's been healthy fully. He has been arguably one of the best edge rushers in the league since he's been here. He was the one to pretty much get that big contract at $34 million. I want to say it was last year. And so far this season, he was off to a hot start. As my lower third states here, he was tied second in the league for forcing 2 forced fumbles. He had 2 sacks, and he had 9 total sacks through 3 games. And his injury was pretty shocking and surprising. And I'm going to go back to the Brian Burns injury. When I was talking about the Brian Burns injury, Brian Burns pretty much had a weird hyperextension of his knee, and his knee kind of went sideways. You know, we know how brutal the turf is. Like, you have no give, so it forced his leg to bend outwards when he was coming back down. So I thought he could have had an LCL type injury, but, you know, Brian Burns ended up trotting onto the field. And I saw the replay of Joey Bosa getting hurt, and there wasn't no weird motion with the knee. I mean, it didn't cross the sagittal plane. You know, no type of weird hyperextension. It didn't cave inwards, didn't go outwards either. So I was pretty like, how? I mean, he just done a normal pass rush. He got through the swim move. I think he was doing a swim move. And, you know, he tore his ACL, and it was weird during the game because Nick Bosa was doing high knees and things like that. He was getting ready to get back on the field, and you know, Nick Bosa was saying, and the doctors told Nick Bosa, like, man, you're good, you're fine. And Nick Bosa was like, nah, dude, this don't feel good. And he signaled off to his parents, and he gave him the thumbs down. We've seen the viral clip go around on social media. And it's very, very just crazy to see how athletes know their body. A guy like Nick Bosa who works out, we know how fit and in shape Nick Bosa is. He's an absolute specimen out there on the football field. He's built like an absolute Mack truck. I would hate to be running that way as a running back. My God, I do not want that dude to touch me at all. The dude is an absolute stud. Nick Bosa knew what happened. He was like, the doctor said, hey, you're good to go. Nick Bosa's like, nah, bruh. Hey, something ain't right with this knee, big dog. And they knew it. It's an absolute blow for the San Francisco 49ers, a team who's already 3-0. They got the easiest schedule, you know. They lost their game wrecker on defense. Hopefully Fred Warner can, you know, the Michael Williams, Fred Warner can mentor the kid, and hopefully he can turn into a great pass rusher, the kid from Georgia who they just got this year in the first round. But man, that is a huge blow. The best player on defense. He's a game wrecker. He's a guy you game plan for week in and week out. Every single week, they say, where is 97 at? How are we going to get him out of our game plan on offense? Are we going to chip him? We're going to run ways away from his side? I mean, it sucks. The San Francisco 49ers themselves are a walking infirmary. Like, I don't get it. Do they need to fire their strength and conditioning coach? Whoever is in charge of the fitness and any type of kinesiology aspect for the San Francisco 49ers, we might need to look for new employers. Because holy cow, I do not understand for the life of me, how a team stays hurt. They don't even play on turf, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say Santa Clara Stadium. I think they have grass. Let me make sure. I think Santa Clara Niners Stadium grass. I think it is a grass field. Yeah. Notable teams like San Francisco have recently installed natural grass. They play on grass, so I don't understand for the life of me how they stay hurt. We have the names here. I have them written down. Juwan Jennings was out last week. And I think he weren't out last week. He was out just this past game in week 3. Brock Purdy, he's been hurt since after week 1. George Kittle got hurt in the first game of the season. Ayuk tore his ACL last year. Mac Jones, he's also hurt as well. He's got some things going on with him. And Michael Williams, the rookie that they just drafted, was on the injury report this week. When I was looking up their injuries, I'm like, what the crap's going on? Don't even let me forget McCaffrey. First game of the season, going into the first game of the season. Excuse me. Christian McCaffrey had a calf type injury, which is something that Christian McCaffrey has the whole time. We know how the calf injuries go in sports. If you have a calf injury, the likely of you getting a Achilles injury is very high. But for some reason, Christian McCaffrey is good to go. Hopefully he stays healthy for the rest of the year for the San Francisco 49ers because, oh my God. if Christian McCaffrey or anyone, if McCaffrey gets hurt at any point, it's just like, yo, what is floating in the water out there in San Francisco? Like, what do we got going on? Like, they stay hurt. And this is another point that we can say as well. The 49ers, and I know we probably can't, this ain't even probably an argument. The 49ers Super Bowl window is closed. Let's just be real and be honest. It's closed. They had their chance with the Chiefs a couple of years ago. They were not able to capitalize on it. Everybody was healthy. You had Debo, you had Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy playing at a pretty elite level. Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw. Even though I think that's the game. Dre Greenlaw tore his ACL in that game. You had Ufunga, Ward, Tre'Davious Ward, Lenore Ryan. Like, they had a good squad. And you got Nick Bosa getting another injury, season ending. George Kittle can't stay on the field. Even Brock Purdy, someone who you just signed to a contract, is hurt as well. It's very just, if I'm a 49ers fan, I'm heartbroken. Like, nothing can go right. They're pretty much in the same boat with the Dallas Cowboys when it comes to Super Bowls. They ain't touched one since 95. Been almost 30 years. Has been actually 30 years. And just can't do nothing right. They can't, and I say ultimately their Super Bowl window is closed with Brock Purdy and everybody in the whole ordeal because everybody else in the NFC continues to get better. What if Caleb Williams and them gets it together? We see how good the Green Bay Packers are. We know they can possibly win one in the future. Minnesota, if J.J. McCarthy could be good. That whole NFC North is good. Let's not get started with the Eagles. We know Dallas now. They have 4 first-round picks. What can those turn into? Can they? That's all they're missing is a defense. If they can restock the defense with draft picks, they're going to be great. The Washington Commanders, there's just so many teams, and even in their own division with the LA Rams and the Seahawks. I mean, it's just the window's closed. They just can't stay healthy. It just sucks. I mean, you had a great start to the season. You're 2-0 with Mac Jones, a guy that everybody pretty much got rid of. The Patriots got rid of him. He went to, I think last year he was on the Jaguars, and then, the Niners picked him up this year. Mac Jones, he might be another reclamation project like Sam Darnold. You went to the San Francisco 49ers for a year. You get under Kyle Shanahan and that coaching tree, that elite type of offensive play calling, and you might turn, Mac Jones might be another stud. But man, it's just, if you're a Niners fan, it just sucks. It sucks for Nick Bosa. Hopefully he can come back great. He tore his same ACL, so it's not like he's tore anything in his other knee. His other knee's still fine. I don't know which one would you rather do. I don't know if you'd rather tear your other ACL or tear the same one you already repaired. I don't know. I'm not a super expert when it comes to that, although I am studying kinesiology in college. But there's no right or wrong answer to that type of statement. But absolute blow for the San Francisco 49ers. They'll be fine. They'll still possibly make the playoffs just because how weak of a schedule they have. I think this week they have the Jacksonville Jaguars at San Francisco at home. So it sucks. I feel bad for Nicky Bosa. He's one of my favorite players to watch. He has a big fan of me. And sucks to see him go down. But San Francisco will be fine, and hopefully he can come back 100% next year. What do you guys think about that? I want to know all of your comments down below. All right, guys. Let's talk about my Dallas Cowboys just for a little bit. Can't catch a cold right now. We all know the travesty that went on Sunday. 425. Caleb Williams just absolutely dotting us up. And CeeDee Lamb goes down. Ankle. I was absolutely scared at first because I'm like, oh my God, please don't let it be worse than what I think it is. Turned out not being as bad as I thought. And I thought he was going to possibly be ready by next week because CD was talking about how he's going to be ready by next week. Obviously, the players are going to say whatever they want to say. No, they're going to say, obviously, they're going to want to say, hey, I'm going to be ready next week. But I was actually believing it. But CD, he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. My phone just went off thinking I said Siri. No, I said CD. So we got the news that he came out. What about, on top of that, we got news, Tyler Booker, our first round draft pick. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. He's possibly going to go on IR along with CeeDee Lamb. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, they went on 105.3 to fan. Hopefully I'll get a job there one day. But they're like, yeah, Tyler Booker's hurt as well. He's going to go to IR. Oh, what about CeeDee Lamb as well? Yeah, CeeDee Lamb might too, because I don't know, 2-3 weeks, high ankle sprain. I don't know if he'll be ready. What is going on with... Are we just high ankle sprain city? Cooper Beebe, was he hurt week 1? No, he played week 2. Week 2 against the Giants, high ankle sprain. CeeDee Lamb, high ankle sprain. Tyler Booker, high ankle sprain. What's next? Jeez Louise. So, the Cowboys are another team, just like the 49ers, who have had injuries to their big stars. You have your first round pick in Tyler Booker. Tyler Guyton last year couldn't stay on the field, their first round pick. We were even scared he tore his ACL over the training camp. Over training camp this year going into the season, we were scared that Tyler Guyton tore his ACL. He ended up being fine. He was like a close call to make it to week 1, and he was actually able to play week 1. You have Tyler Guyton, Dak Prescott. He's been injury riddled the past 4 years. Dak Prescott hasn't even played a full season since 2019, maybe, I think, or maybe 21. I'm not quite sure. It's been a while. Trayvon Diggs tore his ACL, had a knee issue last year. Michael Parsons, someone who's not a part of us no more, but he should be. We know he was hurt last year as well. So the Dallas Cowboys have had a lot of injuries. And DeRon Bland, don't even get me started with him. He's hurt now, but he actually practiced in full today, so hopefully he's going to be available for Sunday because our freaking secondary needs all they need. But, Overshawn, another guy, tore his ACL twice. He was drafted in 23. He tore it in preseason of 23, and he tore it last year. I think he tore it in... I can't remember what game. He tore it Thanksgiving Day. I'll never forget it. Yep, he tore it Thanksgiving Day. And he's another stud as well. So the Cowboys draft great players that just turn out to be injury-filled. Seriously. Just turn into Byron Jones 2.0. It's just their last couple draft picks. They just stay hurt. But you just couldn't go 3 weeks into the season without a major injury. Just the Cowboys' luck. Now, I'm not going to get into all hoopla about it. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys were going to make any noise in the playoffs this year. I was kind of, I got fooled week 1, fool's gold. I was sitting there like, okay, we actually played pretty good against the Philadelphia Eagles. The defense showed promise after the lightning delay, and the offense was cooking pre-lightning delay. If they can put that together into one game, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's the term they use? Something with the ceiling, I can't think of the term. It's basically, the sky is the limit. There we go. And week 2, offense is phenomenal. Defense gets cooked, and we know what happened on Sunday. So I'm off the bandwagon with the Dallas Cowboys for the rest of the year. I don't think they're good. I made a video about it. It's coming out tonight, actually, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tune into it. It's pretty much a reclip of what I said on Monday. I just don't think the Dallas Cowboys are a good team. Offensively, they are a Super Bowl caliber offense. Literally. But that defense is literally the worst. On par with the worst in the league. Like, they can't stop anybody. And it's absolutely, positively depressing. In all fronts, forms, and fashions. So, that is that. And this is going to be a good time for George Pickens to earn his keep. This is your pay year. Your 4th year. You were a 2nd round pick. You don't get a 5th year option. So the Dallas Cowboys, they utilized their 3rd round pick to get him. This is a good time to nanny to see if George Pickens is going to be worth the penny. You know what? And this is something else I think about too. Every time I watch Terratola McMillan right now over there in Carolina, he's making some plays. And I'm sitting there like, dang. If we could have got him in the 1st round, had him for 5 years, utilized next year to get offensive offensive lineman because the offensive lineman draft is going to be deep next year. There's a lot of people mocking Dallas to take another tackle. That tackle out of Miami, who he is an absolute unit. The left tackle, oh my gosh. I actually wouldn't mind that pick, to be honest with you. Get rid of Terrence Steele because Terrence Steele is absolute crap right now. He cannot stop a cold. Ever since he tore his ACL, he's been no good. I would not mind that pick. Put him at right. Tyler Guyton's position was actually right tackle. If Tyler Guyton can move the right tackle, put that dude left tackle. Tyron Smith 2.0, question mark? I know it's a little blasphemous to say, okay? Blasphemous, Tyron Smith's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, okay? Tyler Smith, he wore a freaking knee brace for an arm sleeve, for Christ's sakes. That's how big he was. But, yeah. It's time for George Pickens to earn his keep. It's going to be good to see. Let's see if the run game just keeps cooking. Dallas Cowboys, Javonte Williams averaged 7.6 yards a carry against Chicago. This is going to be a good litmus test as well against this young defense over there in Green Bay. They got their work cut out for them. It's going to be brutal. No CeeDee Lamb. Jonathan Mingo, I don't even know if he's ready yet, so we're going to have, God, Jalen Tolbert's going to be the wide receiver 2 on Sunday. I just want to just slit a wrist or two. I'm just playing, guys. I'm not slitting my wrist. That's a little too, that's a little too much to be saying on camera, but darn it, it sucks. Anybody but Jalen Tolbert at wide receiver, hopefully they don't overuse. This is a good time to get Spanford and Fergie going, a little too tight end action. Spanford is actually somebody who is very interesting. I crapped on Spanford, but he is the best blocker on the team. And did y'all see that play he made when he had that play there at the end of the game? They got called back when Joe Milton took over at quarterback. Spanford? Question mark? Elite? Schoonmaker? You're tight end 3, bud. Spanford, you're in there, tight end number 2, big dog. So, yeah, that's, But hopefully we can get healthy. I don't know, y'all. Like I said on Monday, I see us really only getting 4 absolute wins right now. That would put us at roughly, 5-12? Top 10 pick. Hey, things I want to see just this season. I want to make sure the offense is still good. I want to see some of our young talent. I want to see Siobhan Revel at cornerback. I want to see Shamar James at linebacker. The linebackers right now are cooked. Jake Sanborn, he played for Eberflus in Chicago. He's not worked out. He sucks. He can't cover anybody. He's super unathletic. He sucks. Maurice Leofau needs to get a look. Kenneth Murray is feast or famine. That's another big position we got to draft. Overshawn's going to be back. So, the linebackers are so bad. Safety. I want to see Wanye Thomas get some action. Thank God this is Donovan Wilson's last year as a Dallas Cowboy. I just cannot wait to see him go. Him and Malik Hooker. I love the signing of Malik Hooker whenever he had coming off that ACL and a big injury, but he has not been nowhere near the same since he was in his time in Indianapolis when he was like one of the best safeties in the league. He's just not been good. And Siobhan Revel at corner. So I got a couple things to look forward to for the rest of the season. I want to see if the offensive line just can't continue to be great whenever Tyler Booker and Cooper Beebe gets back. But yeah, that's pretty much just my quick thoughts with that. George Pickens, it's your time. Got a great tune-up game for you, and hopefully you'll be able to get on it and be super, super productive. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got to say about my Dallas Cowboys. What do you guys think? I want to know all of your comments down below. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that is going to be the end of the show. Not yet. I'm just playing. All right, guys, real quickly, I'm going to get to my picks. Okay, I plan on having a show tomorrow or Saturday, so we're going to come back to my picks from last week. I want to see how good I did, and we're just going to do a little quick small segment on it. So picks for week 4. First game tonight, Seattle versus Arizona. This is actually a pretty good game. As of right now, I don't like the way this is set up. I kind of like. Hold on, let me get this set up. Okay, this is how I want it to be. All right, this is better. All right, y'all, really quick, we're going to get a quick little rundown of this right here. Seattle versus the Arizona Cardinals. The Seattle Seahawks are favored -1.5. Great game. I love Seattle here. I'm going to take Seattle -1.5. Dallas versus the Green Bay Packers. I'm definitely taking Green Bay -6.5. I don't think this game is going to be close. Green Bay coming off an absolute bonkers game against the Cleveland Browns, getting shut out on offense pretty much by that defense. Jordan Love and the guys are going to be ready to play. We know how much the Green Bay Packers love playing in Jerry World. I see no way, form, or fashion the Dallas Cowboys even make this game competitive, even with probably the type of what's the word I'm looking for? The adrenaline rush that they will have with Micah Parsons being back in town. I just don't think they're going to be good enough. I'm gonna take the Packers -6.5. Vikings versus Steelers. I'm definitely taking Minnesota here. I do not enjoy anything that I'm seeing from Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers offensively. They should have lost against the New England Patriots. If you see that box score, yeah, you'll understand what I'm trying to say. But I'm definitely going to take the Vikings -2.5 there. Washington against the Falcons in Atlanta. Give me Washington -1.5. I don't think 100% that Jayden Daniels is going to be ready for this game. I think he's going to take another week. So Marcus Mariota, he was able to get it done against the Raiders. And I think he's going to be good enough to get it done against the Falcons. Penix, you got to get it together. Now, don't mind me. I think the Falcons could win this game. But I'm not betting them. Give me. And granted, I'm not a betting man, so y'all guys do not take my picks and try to bet with them. Okay, I don't bet. I'm just doing it based off who I think is going to win the game. Okay, and I'm just using the money. I'm just using the line for it because it's pretty fun. But I don't bet, so do not take my picks and go bet with them. Great. So I'm gonna take the Commanders on that one. Saints Bills. This is an easy one for me. Oh, that is a big line though. 15.5. I'm not gonna say who I'm going to pick with the spread. Just give me the Bills. I don't like big spreads like that. I advise anybody with a big spread like that, do not touch those type of games. That's just way too big of a spread for me. So I'm definitely going to smash the Bills on that one. Browns, Lions. I'm taking the Lions -9.5. That is a pretty much easy one for me there. Not much to say. Panthers, Patriots. This is an actually good game. -5.5. I think the Patriots are actually pretty decent. They're not the best. Carolina put up 30. Granted, they did nothing on offense. A lot of that had to do with just the Falcons being just that bad. Oh, this is a hard one. This is kind of like, this is the type of pick where you just get the little the magic 8 ball and be like, hey, pick the Panthers or the Patriots. Like, it's like both teams suck. Ladies and gents, I think I'm going to go with you know what? I'm doing it for the hometown crowd. I'm picking Carolina in the upset. Okay, I'm going Carolina +5.5. I'm gonna do it. That's gonna be my upset of the week probably. Chargers, Giants. I love you, Jaxson Dart. Give me the Chargers. This is just quick, simple. No reason to make this any bigger than what it is. Great game here, Philly Buccaneers. Okay, this is gonna be my hot take. Historically, Jalen Hurts does not play well against the Buccaneers. Give me the Bucs +3.5. I'm not, I think Philadelphia, I said the Super Bowl Eagles are back, and they are. But somehow, some way, that coaching staff does not believe in Jalen Hurts to throw the football. They're going to try and establish the run with Saquon Barkley. And we all know Bake Show ain't going to do what the Rams just did. We know how good Baker Mayfield's been playing. Bake Show ain't going to let that happen. Give me those Buccaneers, baby. A lot of this has to do because I hate the Eagles. So, like I said, don't use my picks. A lot of this has to do with Eagle hate. I despise the Eagles. I hate to see them winning. So take my picks lightly. I'm picking the Bucs. Titans, Texans. Look, Texans, my lord. If you cannot win this game, CJ Stroud, we need to have a conversation. tune-up game. We need them. 1-3, please. CJ, you got rid of CJ Gardner-Johnson. That was a shocking move. But hey, it's go time. We got to get to it. All right. Give me the Texans, -7.5 at home. Colts, ooh, this is a good game. Dang, that's a great game. Ladies and gents, what do y'all think? Oof. You're in LA. We know LA never has a legit home crowd. Ooh, this is tough. Ooh. Y'all, what do y'all think? I need y'all's help. This is a good game. Wow. I'm picking an upset. I think the Colts keep rolling. Danny Pennies, you're back to Danny Dimes. Give me the Colts +3.5. Yes, sir. Absolutely. That's what we're going to go with today. All right. Matt Stafford, I still love you. Jaguars, Niners. This is an interesting one as well. Does Mac Jones keep on with the magic? I don't trust the Jaguars. They've not played clean football at all. Who was it that the Jaguars played last week and they were just absolutely abysmal? God, who did they play? Hold on. Let me make sure. I don't want to be 100% wrong. I can't. They played the Bengals the week before. Who was they play last week? Was it yeah, it was the Texans. I didn't finish looking it up. You see, I still had the games pulled up from just my regular favorites that's going on. See, I'm not lying. So yeah, they played the Texans. If they played the Texans, that thing, you know, I'm gonna go San Francisco -3.5. I love Trevor. I hope Trevor gets better, but I'm not taking the Jaguars. Ravens Chiefs. Baltimore -2.5. Y'all, I'm going to say Baltimore. Just because, my lord, they have no choice but to get back on track. Like, it's go time. Baltimore, if you can't win this game, you don't expect to beat Josh Allen and the Bills. And don't expect to beat anybody from the NFC. Don't expect to beat the Chargers. If you cannot beat the Chiefs, the way that offense has looked, come on, Lamar. Come on, John Harbaugh. Figure it out. Give me Baltimore -2.5. At Arrowhead, I don't care. The Ravens need to win that game. They should win that game. Bears Raiders. Give me the Bears. Give me the Bears +1.5. Trust me, I'm not over here about to turn into a Caleb Williams stan. Obviously, I'm a fan of Caleb Williams. I'm a little bit of a hater right now just because he beat my team, but I think the Bears is going to continue. I don't like the Raiders. That offensive line, Ashton Genty's got nobody to run behind. I mean, it is absolutely horrendous what they got going on over there in Chicago for Ashton Genty. Give me the Bears +1.5. That's the easy one for me. Jets, Dolphins, give me the Jets. I'm not high on the Dolphins at all. I don't think the Dolphins are good. They actually played way better than what I thought they would on Monday night against the Bills. But the Bills are pretty much playing with their food. And I just don't love anything about the Dolphins at all. And I think the Jets are due. They've played pretty darn good football so far out of the 3 losses. They lost in a close one against the Steelers. They should have won that game. They lost last week against the Bucks. With the whole block punt, the block kick thing, they should have won that game as well. Literally, Baker Mayfield took them to town again. Game-winning drive. Who did they play week 2? I think they got the doors blocked. Yeah, they played the Bills week 2. Yeah, that is right. They got a doors blown off of them by the Bills. But yeah, give me the Jets. Bengals Broncos. This is another easy one for me. I'm picking Denver. I just think Denver, they need this game very bad. They're at home. We saw what Jake Browning did. I think he threw 5 picks, if I'm not mistaken. Let me fact check this to make sure. Let me go to stats. Oh no, I can just click right here. It was pretty bad. Jake Browning. No, he threw 2 picks. Where did 5 picks come from? They might be saying altogether. How did he do last week? And I don't really care. It's super irrelevant. So that line was minus 7.5 for the Broncos. Give me the Broncos at home. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of that. That is my picks for week 4 of the NFL season. Again, I will be back next week to, well, not next week. That's either Friday or Saturday, one of the two. I'm gonna be back, and we're just gonna go together and see like how well I did in my picks. So those are my picks for week 4 of the NFL season. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the end of today's show. Forgive me for not being with you guys last night. I had a lot going on yesterday. I could have went live roughly around like 9:30, 10 o'clock, but I wouldn't have been 100% locked in like I am right now. I thank you guys so much for joining me. It was a very fun time, and I look forward to seeing y'all either Friday or Saturday. Because as I stated, all those any of y'all who are watching who are fans of comic books and anything pop culture, Hall of Heroes is coming. I think I might do it later on tonight. So we have that coming up, and I'm going to enjoy that. I think I might wait till tomorrow. I kind of wanted to do it because I bought this new shirt from Dark Sport. It's absolutely gas. Selena Kyle right here. You got Poison Ivy there. Dark Sport, y'all got it up going on and cooking over there. But yeah. So I think I might wait till tomorrow and do Hall of Heroes. I want to make some thumbnails and stuff and some lower thirds and things of that nature. But if you Hall of Heroes, it's going to be pretty much it's not going to be like this where I'm sitting and talking for, it's kind of going to be like that, but it's a lot more laid back. I'm not providing analysis. I'm just giving, we're going to come together, watch some trailers, do some trailer reactions and things of that nature. I just got a lot of stuff to catch on when it comes to popcorn stuff. So being on tune for that tomorrow, either tonight or roughly tomorrow, because I don't know if I want to get to it tonight because the game's fixing to come on in an hour roughly. And obviously I got to watch that for the show. So I might wait till tomorrow to do Hall of Heroes. And obviously it's a lot on me right now too. I've done nothing for that show. I've got nothing together. And yeah. And I think that's what we're going to do. I think we might wait till tomorrow. But if I see you guys tonight or see you tomorrow, I will see you again roughly soon. I thank you guys so much for watching, and I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Continue to provide feedback and like and subscribe. Love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the future. Peace, love, and positivity. All right, y'all. See ya.